Mayor and members of the council, the meeting is now live.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. Good evening and welcome to the June 23rd, 2025, 6 p.m. regular joint meeting of the Bell Garden City Council, successor agency to the Community Development Commission. The meeting will now come to order at 6:11 p.m. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting live online through the city's website as noted on the agenda. If any other member should have a conflict of interest, please announce any item you're recusing yourself from due to a conflict of interest prior to the item being heard. Tonight's invocation will be given by Minister Daniel Linguino, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by our Police Department Chief, Camacho.
Very good. Test. There we go. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. If we can stand on our feet as we do tonight's invocational prayer. Thank you, City Mayor and council members. Let us bow our heads as we come before God. Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity that you give all of us, that you allow us to awaken in this day, God, to have peace and tranquility in the midst of the chaos around this world. We just thank you for your goodness, for your mercy, and for your love, as we are unworthy. However, your great mercy is over us, God, and I present before you the leaders of our city, our mayor, the council members that are with them, Father, for your word says that where there is a multitude of counsel, there is safety for the city. I also want to thank you, Father, for our police department, for our chief, for every officer that goes out and protects this city, Lord, that keeps us safe. I just pray that you send your angels that go with them and bring them back, Father God, home safely. And I just thank you, Lord, and I pray that you give us guidance in this night and that your will be done. In the name of Jesus, I pray this. Amen.
Thank you so much for that, Pastor, Minister, and Chief. City Clerk, please call roll the City Council and successor agency.
Yes, thank you, members of the council successor agency. If there's no objection, Councilmember Barcena will be absent from this meeting, excused, as we were informed ahead of time. Councilwoman Guillen? Present. Councilwoman Sanchez?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa?
Present.
And Mayor Chavez.
Present. Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. Mr. City Manager, can we go to the next item, certificate of recognitions?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Chavez. The first item we have is a recognition for several special Bell Gardens Elementary School students, and I'll turn it back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Today, we have very important students here in our community that have started their activism at a young age. And I want to just take the time to go ahead and call them up. If they're here present, I believe it's Ángel Hernández, Ivana Castillo, Brandon Hernandez, and Alexia Esubillo. And I believe they're coming forward as we speak. Thank you so much for being here. And I believe that their teacher is here as well, Ms. Hyatt, who's waving at the back. So thank you so much for being here, all the students. And again, these are our very own students here in our city from Bell Gardens Elementary. So with that said, I do want to read the certificates. And they all say essentially the same thing in the information, but it just has your name listed, right? So it goes, City of Bell Gardens Certificate of Recognition honoring Ivana Castillo, Angel Hernandez, Brandon Hernandez, Alexia Subillo. And it says, the Bell Garden City Council is honored in recognizing your dedication and hard work in advocating for tree equity. Your activism helps ensure neighborhoods have access to the benefits trees provide, such as cooler temperatures and improved air quality. You are a true testament to the power of collective action in addressing critical environmental and social issues and helping to ensure a healthier and more just environment for everyone. Signed, Jorge Chavez, Mayor, along with the Bell Garden City Council, this June 23rd, 2025. If we can all give them a big round of applause to our students. Before I turn it over to all of you to present yourselves, I do want to give the opportunity to my colleagues if they want to share some words here with our students, if they're to their courageous activism. And with that said, I'll go ahead and leave my comments to the end, but this is the moment to make a comment to our students.
I just want to congratulate you. I know that you wrote letters to us. You did a project, regarding tree equity within our city involving math and other factors. And I had the pleasure of speaking to your class and just hearing all the wonderful things, that you want to see within the city. And luckily, we were able to start by planting one tree on Earth Day. And thank you for all of you that were there. And I highly, highly ask you to continue your advocacy for true equity within our city. Thank you.
First off, I want to say I'm very proud of you all. I had the pleasure of speaking to you all in your classroom, and was very impressed by the level of analysis that you all did on the in our own city. You guys crunched the numbers, evaluated the area, the sector, the census tract. That's very impressive, and very very inspiring too. And I think what came out of this is something fruitful, something that's going to make Bell Gardens flourish. We talked about the actions and the next steps, and overall, I'm very, very happy for you all, and it's truly inspirational. So hats off to you all. Thank you.
Likewise, I'd like to congratulate you for being courageous and stepping up. And I'd like to congratulate my colleague, Frances. I know she was a big advocate for you guys to be up here, and your teacher as well. Congratulations and keep it up.
Likewise, for my comments, I just want to say it was a pleasure to also have the opportunity to go to your classroom. And thank you to Ms. Hyatt as well for organizing the students and to show them that they have activism at such a young age, really that there is no age when it comes to organizing and ensuring that your voice is being heard at all levels of government. So again, I just want to say thank you so much for your courageous acts. The way I see it is we got four not potential. I feel like they are going to be 4 mayors of the city of Bell Gardens right in front of us, future mayors. And I'm just really proud to say that our community and our city is going to be in good hands here with our students. So again, if we could all give them a round of applause again for our students. With that said, this is the opportunity for you to share some words, and I'm pretty sure Ms. Hyatt prepared you and how to go about this. But again, this is your opportunity. Whoever wants to go first.
Good evening, Mayor Chavez and members of the City Council. My name is Angel Hernandez. We are 5th grade students from Bell Gardens Elementary, and we want to thank you for taking the time to read our letters about tree equity in our neighborhoods. I really enjoyed when Mayor Jorge came to our class talk, and when Mayor Pro Tem Miguel de la Rosa came with SLA to share a presentation they made about planting trees. Another thing I enjoyed was when Councilmember Dr. De Leon spoke to us in a Zoom call and talked to us about the work we did and how well we did it. Writing to you has helped us learn how to speak up for what we care about, and we are so grateful that you listened. Trees aren't just pretty. They keep us cool, give us clean air, and make our streets healthier and happier. We really appreciate all of you responding to our letters and even meeting with us on Zoom, in our classroom, and even in the park to plant a tree. Thank you for caring about our voices and making sure every part of our city has enough trees. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Chavez and members of the City Council. My name is Ivana Castillo. We are 5th grade students from Bell Gardens Elementary, and we want to thank you for reading our letters about tree equity and for taking our ideas seriously. We were so excited to help plant a new tree in Veterans Park with council members Francis de Leon Sanchez, and we even got to name it the Unicorn Tree. That day showed us how we can make a difference. Now we want to help plant many more trees, especially in areas that don't have enough shade. We also want to thank the organization SLA and Pro Tem Miguel de la Rosa for visiting our classroom and teaching us how we can make Bell Gardens more green and healthy for everyone. Thank you for listening to our voices and for helping us make our city a better place to live for people, animals, and trees. Good evening, Mayor Chavez, Mayor Pro Tem De La Rosa, Councilmember Marco Barcena, Councilmember Isabel Guillen, and Councilmember Dr. De Leon Sanchez. My name is Brandon Hernandez, and I was a fifth grader at BGE. I am now going to be a sixth grader at BGI. Thank you for reading our letters about tree equity. Writing to you helped us understand that our voices matter, even as kids. Thank you for responding to our letters, for meeting with us on Zoom, and for coming into our classroom and supporting our ideas for greener Bell Gardens. We care about making Bell Gardens a greener, healthier city for everyone. This speech is to help you make Bell Gardens a greener and a happier place. Thank you for listening to us and for working together to grow a better future.
Good evening, Mayor Chavez, Mayor Pro Tem De La Rosa, Councilmember Marco Barcena, Councilmember Isabel Guillen, and Councilmember Dr. De Leon Sanchez. My name is Alexia Eusebio, and I'm a fifth grade student from Bell Gardens Elementary School. I want to thank you for reading our letters and for listening to our ideas about tree equity. It all started with doing some math in our classroom. We learned that Bell Gardens has 24 census blocks, but only 4 of them have tree equity. That means most areas don't have enough trees to give people the shade, clean air, and healthy environment they deserve. The area we're standing in right now has a score of 81. That's great. A tree equity score looks at things like how much shade there is, how many people live in the area, their income, and race to make sure everyone has fair access to nature. Our goal is for every area in Bell Gardens to have a score of 75 or higher. Our goal in the area around our school, the score is only 61. That's not good enough. Our math shows us that our neighborhood needs 72 more trees just to catch up. That number surprises us, but it also motivates us. We're just kids, but we care deeply about our community. We're ready to keep working, planting, and speaking up. Thank you and for helping us build a better future, one tree at a time.
Thank you so much for all of you coming, and your parents must be so proud, and all your neighbors and the Ms. Hyatt. I can't believe it. I mean, it's like you see your students come in the beginning of the year, August of last year, and now you see them kind of like grow and do this. So I just really also want to condemn your effort in being a teacher, and how much, the impact that our teachers have on our students, and we're clearly seeing it in front of our eyes. So I heard some of you are going to BGI. I'm a former BGI Falcon, so I'm all for BGI as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and give you each a certificate, and we can all line up right here and we'll take a picture. And then if Ms. Hyatt wants to come up as well, you're more than welcome. Thank you. Right, everybody. Thank you again for that one. Mr. City Manager, next presentation.
Thanks again, Mayor Chavez. The next item is a recognition for our neighbor Encanto Restaurant and Banquet Hall, and also a special recognition for Mr. Ernesto Flores. I'll turn it back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. City Manager. We'll go ahead and, if we can, have Mr. Ernesto Flores come up to the podium, and if he wants to bring up his team as well, you're more than happy right now to the dais. And as you're coming up, I want to go ahead and just it's a very special recognition, and I want to thank you. And before I get into it very deep, I want to first pass it over to the Mayor Pro Tem, who has the certificate for the restaurant in the banquet hall.
Thank you so much, Mayor Chavez. Here we have the certificate of recognition honoring Encanto Restaurant and Banquet Hall. City of Bell Gardens and the Bell Gardens City Council is proud to recognize Encanto Restaurant and Banquet Hall for its outstanding success. We congratulate you on creating a thriving business, offering a welcoming atmosphere, and serving delicious, authentic dishes. We wish you continued success and prosperity for many years ahead. Signed, Mayor Jorge Chavez and the rest of the City Council. Congratulations.
Simultaneously, thank you so much for that, Mayor Pro Tem. I do want to read also the certificate of recognition for Mr. Ernesto Flores. So it states, certificate of recognition honoring Ernesto Flores in recognition for refusal to be silenced and commitment to the First Amendment, demonstrating courage in exercising and protecting these fundamental freedoms towards these following the aggressive directive from the current federal administration towards the most vulnerable and in most times hardworking individuals trying to better their lives and live the American dream. Signed, Jorge Chavez, Mayor of the City Council. This is June 23rd, 2025. Before we get into it, I want to give this opportunity to Mr. Ernesto Flores to say some words.
Well, I just want to thank you guys too. Good evening, Jorge Chavez, Mayor and City Council team. That Friday when that incident happened with the federal agents, I was at the restaurant there, and being in Bell Gardens since I was 5 years old in 1987, also went to BGI, Falcon alumni and Bell Gardens High School alumni class of 2000. I took it personal when I saw that. I really didn't know what was going on at the time, but my instinct kicked in to protect my community and protect all the residents of Bell Gardens that I could at that moment, especially the ones that really don't have a voice at this point. I wasn't really thinking of what would happen to myself, but I just put myself in. That could be my own family members, or I consider the community of Bell Gardens my own family as well. So thank you guys. You guys are also doing an awesome job with the city. I remember when the casino was just built and everything, but you guys are really moving the needle forward. I do see the progress that this city has been having, and it's all thanks also to you guys for a wonderful team that you guys have and what you guys do also for our city and our community. And thank you also. We couldn't do it without our staff members as well that help us out a lot every day. My business partner, Gilbert, like I said, we want to go ahead and be one of the best restaurants in the area, and also be the only best venue that Bell Gardens has, and we're going to offer that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Ernesto. Would you like to share some words as well?
Well, just thanks again. Pretty much what Ernesto says. We appreciate everything that the city does, and we appreciate the community for always coming out to support our business. And we want to be part of the city for a long time to come. So appreciate everyone here. Thank you, guys.
With that said, I want to open it up to my colleagues as well to share some, to express their feelings as well, and just kind of say thank you for what you did.
First and foremost, thank you for taking over the ownership of the restaurant. I know that is a pillar in our community. It has a different name, a different feel now, and I know that the community is excited to have you guys here. Ernesto, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. When I saw what you did, right away I thought courageous, right? Because you're right, you don't know what could have happened to yourself what are the consequences happening to your family, but the fact that you spoke up for others when others couldn't, that's extremely admirable. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that for our community.
Thank you so much, Ernesto, for taking action right in the heat of the moment, and so much uncertainty going on, and despite not knowing the consequences or how it may escalate, it's so many variables right that could occur in that moment, and I want to commend you for taking that action, and speaking for those who can't. That from the bottom of my heart, wholeheartedly. Thank you so much. Thank you.
First, thank you for Encanto. I know our men here at the fire station, they're always talking about your delicious homemade food. They talk about the albondigas. You guys, albondigas. Right?
That's good.
But in particular, they're always talking about the albondigas. But yes, when I saw that video in particular, I think it touched all of our hearts. I know up to today, the community is still talking about it. And in our books, you're a hero. A hero isn't, it means a lot. The fact that you didn't even know what consequence you were going to face, that alone speaks volumes. And thank you from everyone here sitting. I know it means a lot, the strength, the courage, the faith in our community. I just have no words. So thank you very much. And I mean, Falcons, a lot of us here are Falcons. So thank you very much. We truly appreciate you. We value you. And let's go eat at Encanto.
For my comments, I mean, first and foremost, I'm glad to see your business is thriving, right? I drive through there. I'm glad the signage is all set up too now, and I've seen the bookings are coming in for the banquet hall. So I really like to see the business is thriving. I really appreciate what you did on behalf of the whole community. I've been in your shoes in that situation. It is frightening because at the same time you don't know how folks are going to react. And we've seen countless videos. But I just want to thank you for coming out of your business, putting yourself vulnerable. I believe you were like on the sidewalk at that point, and or crossing the street, and you told those folks the way it was supposed to be here in the city of Bell Gardens. So I appreciate you doing that, standing up for our community, being a stakeholder in the city, and know that your council and your cities got your back as well. So again, thank you so much. City Manager, next presentation.
Thanks again, Mayor Chavez. The next item is a proclamation that proclaims July Parks Make Life Better Month, and I will turn it over to Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. In recognition of Parks Make Life Better Month, whereas Parks and Recreation promotes physical, emotional, and mental health and wellness through organized and self-directed fitness, play, and activities. And whereas Parks and Rec supports the economics of our community by partnering with local businesses and nonprofits and offering events for residents engagement. And whereas Parks and Recs fosters social cohesiveness in communities by celebrating diversity, promoting spaces to come together peacefully, modeling compassion, promoting social equity, connecting social networks, and ensuring all people have access to its benefits. And whereas Parks and Rec facilitates community problems and issues resolutions by providing safe spaces to come together peacefully and serving as key points of service, helping our communities heal both physically and emotionally. And whereas Parks and Recreation remains innovative in providing vital services to communities through emergencies while adhering to guidelines set forth by governing agencies. Now there be resolved that Jorge Chavez, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, with the City Council do hereby proclaim July 2025 to be Park Makes Life Better Month. And we want to thank Parks and Rec for all their contributions to everyone here within our community. Proclaimed this 23rd of June, 2025, signed by our mayor and city council. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez. I believe we have a lot of our Park and Rec staff here present. If they want, I'd invite them to come up to the podium, and also our director, Miss Elizabeth Nava, if you want to call over the team. I know some of them are shy.
Please don't be shy. Come up.
During the summer concerts and movies and all the events, we're going to have them start presenting themselves.
Yeah.
We see them all out there at the same time. So
Come over here.
behind the podium. That's a mighty strong staff. I love it.
This is just a fraction of the department, but we got a strong representation here tonight. Can I say just a couple
Absolutely.
of words really quickly? Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for your support of our department, of the Recreation and Community Services Department, and our department staff. And I wanted to thank you for taking this opportunity and this time to recognize July as Parks Make Life Better Month, and the hard work and creativity of the Recreation and Community Services team. This team is made up of hardworking, dedicated, and talented individuals, and they're committed to serving this community. And in fact, a lot of our employees are either current or former residents, longtime residents, and longtime employees of the City of Bell Gardens. And so their love for this community is shown in their hard work and dedication that they show every single day they're here. I'm beyond proud of the work that they do. I think a lot of what our community sees is just the tip of the iceberg, but the behind the scenes, the hard work that goes into the programs that we offer day in and day out, the special events that are put on is a testament to their talent and their skill set. And I am beyond proud to be a part of this team. I hope you guys know how much I do love and appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for all your hard work day in and day out. And so I just applaud you and the work that you do. And thank you, City Council, for your support. And I hope we have some future rec leaders coming through BGI and BGE. They were very impressive. So in a few years, I'd love them to join our team as well. So thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for that, Director Nava. I wanted to open it up for my colleagues if anybody wants to share any sentiment at this moment. Thanks.
So my first job was working Parks and Rec. And so I know how fun the job can be, but also how frustrating it can be sometimes, right? But I think you guys definitely do have one of the coolest jobs ever. I do see all the hard work that all of you guys put in. You guys are the largest department of the city. And it takes a lot of people to put on great events and be there for our community. And that's what you do day in and day out. I see the joy that you guys bring to all of our residents, from the young kids all the way to the senior citizens. So keep doing what you're doing, because you guys are doing an amazing job. Thank you.
I applaud you all for your hard work and dedication. Parks really do make life better, and some of my fondest memories growing up has always been at a park. Uh, but also, I think there's also one thing to take note of, that you guys make parks better. All the hard work, all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes to make these events possible, to make the programming, feasible throughout the year. It's all you guys, and I'm very proud and very happy for you all. Congratulations.
So likewise, you guys made my life better. As a lifelong resident, I mean, I've shared this story a lot. I get a little emotional, but seeing Anna here, she met me when I was 2. She saw me grow up. So now she sees me on the dais here. We've shared this story multiple times. We've talked about it. Creative Kids, Ballet Folklorico. I used to sit on like arts and crafts, cooking classes, all of the classes. So knowing that a lot of you guys are residents and have gone through that and now you're working, it's very beautiful. And Liz, thank you so much for leading this. It's very beautiful, all the memories that you build individually. It's something that I carry with me very proudly, and I don't know, I cannot compare it to any other city, but I know it's what makes my city very unique. So thank you so much.
My comments, I just want to say I am extremely proud of this department. I am grateful and I appreciate all the work that each and every one of you does. I've had the pleasure of being on this dais for now going on 5 years, and consistently every July, this comes up, and I'm always proud to see all of you, because in a way I see a lot of myself in you all. Right. I think some of us, we probably even went to high school together, or, we're all from BG, or we all came from Bell Gardens High School. So for me, it's very personal to see people like you working and serving our community. I always say that, when folks interact with our workers, interact with the people here serving the community, it's not us that they interact first. It's a lot of times you all. And you are a perfect example of what we represent here in the community. So I'm just, again, extremely grateful. For those that are residents, know that consistently we're here to represent you as well. And we get to do it double time through your residency in the city and also as employees. Know that you have our support. This department goes above and beyond during COVID pandemic. 5 years ago, right? This was the department that we relied on when we talked about food distributions, when we talked about the COVID vaccine, when we talk about, you name it, the toy giveaways and the backpack giveaways, and, the farmer's market that we do now. So on, I can go on and on and on. Concerts, movies, all the big events, 4th of July, Fiestas Patrias, you name it. This is a department that takes care of all that work, right? Along with collaboration with various other departments here in our city. But when we talk about the folks that are setting up the chairs, setting up the tables, getting organized with the stage, it's not easy. Even during the spring festival, putting all those eggs out, and for the kids, right? That's, and for countless hours, sometimes the fashion show, that's a big add-on that we've done most recently. I'm extremely proud of every single one of you. I hope you continue being involved within our community, coming and growing within department as well, right? Because I see a lot of leaders right here serving our community already. So with that said, I just want to say thank you for your activism. Thank you for being employees of the city, and know that here your council is also representing you. So thank you again, everybody. Oh, Mike, you got it already? We got some technical difficulties, everybody, but we're in work in progress. It's like, you know, when you're watching a movie or a show and then there's something that's like pops up and it says, we'll be right back. We're working on
Okay.
that right now.
We're used to pivoting and adjusting. It's all good.
We're ready for the picture, everybody. All righty then. So that pretty much wraps up the presentation portion of the agenda, and we'll move on to the next item, Mr. City Manager.
Thanks again, Mayor Chavez. The next item is a consideration of adoption of an interim ordinance number 958-U, extending the interim moratorium for the acceptance, processing, approval of licenses, permits, approvals, and other entitlements for use, including any modification thereof for cannabis retail businesses. This is a follow-up item to the item that was adopted by the council at the last council meeting. With that, I'll turn over to our Community Development Director, Manny Acosta. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. Tonight, our presentation is going to be provided to you by our City Planner, Alfonso Hernandez. And for that,
One
Before we
second.
continue, I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. We will now begin with item number 6.1 at this time, and I will open the public hearing at 6:50 p.m. All right. I think City Manager already introduced the item. Go for it.
Thank you, Manny. Good evening, Mayor Chavez, Mayor Pro Tem. Just checking if it was presentation on. Mayor Pro Tem and members of the City Council. For the record, I am Alfonso Hernandez, a City Planner. Tonight for your consideration is an extension to the interim urgency ordinance that was adopted by the City Council on June 9th. That ordinance shall impose a temporary moratorium on the acceptance, processing, or approval of applications related to retail, cannabis retail businesses. Specifically, it is staff's recommendation that the City Council, one, determine the interim urgency ordinance is exempt from the provisions of the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to State CEQA Guidelines Section 15061 B3. And 2, adopt interim urgency ordinance number 958U, extending a temporary prohibition on the accepting, processing, and approving of licenses, permits, approvals, or other entitlement actions for use, including any modifications thereof, for cannabis retail businesses for a period of 10 months and 15 days, or until city council action is effectuated. Some background: on June 26, 2023, the city council adopted ordinance number 934, conditionally allowing cannabis retail uses within certain areas of the city's commercial and industrial zones. On April 22nd, 2024, the city council adopted ordinance number 942, amending Title V of the municipal code to limit the number of business regulatory permits to a total of 7 permits. On May 12th, 2025, the city council requested that staff prepare an interim urgency ordinance that would enact a moratorium on applications related to cannabis retail businesses. And on June 9th, 2025, the city council adopted ordinance number 956U, establishing a moratorium on actions related to cannabis retail businesses for a period of 45 days. The proposed urgency ordinance will enact a temporary prohibition on accepting, processing, and approving all applications related to cannabis retail businesses, including but not limited to licenses, permits, approvals, modifications to previous approvals, or other entitlement actions. Due to the city's 2.5 square mile geographical limitations, applications for cannabis retail businesses are increasingly located in close proximity to sensitive uses, posing an immediate threat to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. The urgency ordinance is intended to protect and study the potential impacts of the overproliferation of cannabis uses within the city, thereby reducing potential negative impacts such as exposure of cannabis to minors. In addition, the moratorium aims to ensure community stability and protect the economic vitality of the existing businesses in the city. Staff will report back with findings and recommendations prior to the expiration of the ordinance. The urgency ordinance shall be imposed for a period of 10 months and 15 days or until the city council takes permanent action. The interim urgency ordinance requires a 4/5 vote and may be extended one additional time of 12 months at the discretion of the city council at a future duly noticed public hearing. In relation to the previously approved applications, those applications may still be executed and construction may go forth unless those DAs are suspended, expired, modified, or revoked. And for the city council's reference, here are the applications that have been approved. 3 of them have been executed. In total, there's 7. And for additional reference, here's a map with each of those locations. In conclusion, it is staff's opinion based off on the findings stated in the ordinance that the city council may approve to extend the interim urgency ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends that the city council, 1, determine the proposed interim urgency ordinance is exempt from the provisions of CEQA, and 2, adopt interim urgency ordinance number 958U, thereby extending a temporary prohibition on accepting, processing, and approving licenses, permits, approvals, or other entitlement actions for use, including any modification thereof, for cannabis retail businesses for a period of 10 months and 15 days until city council action is effectuated. And with that, I conclude my presentation. I am available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for stating that, City Planner. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments regarding this item?
So for the record, what would be the date that the 10-month comes up?
Thank you. We do have that. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Paloma McAvoy for the City Attorney's Office. The 10 months and 15 days starts on the end of the initial 45-day period.
Okay. That would.
So for up to 1 year essentially is what we would be enacting if the council were to vote in favor tonight.
And council member, that expiration date would be June 8, 2026.
June 8th, 2026?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then considering today we only have 4, correct, council members? That vote, what required vote would be 4 as well?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, seeing none. Thank you so much for that, City Planner. We will now open public comments for this item. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation on this item.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on public hearing item 6.1. Please state your name for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining through Zoom may request to make a comment for this public hearing item number 6.1 only by using the raise hand feature and select the unmute or microphone icon when instructed. We will first hear from speakers that are in person, and we did not receive any public written comments on this particular item.
Thank you so much for that. I'd like to call up Rogelio Rodriguez, please. Thank you.
Buenas noches, Council.
Good evening to the council. This topic related to the marijuana. Months ago, we fought for it not to be approved, but finally, evil won. So now the new ones of you have the responsibility for crimes and for addictions that young people might have to marijuana. That's all in your hands. Possibly one of them, one of you may suffer because somebody who's addicted to marijuana continues, and it continues to destroy that person or that child completely, and you guys will be responsible. You still have the time to extend this, or because the person who allowed this to happen was Mr. Bárcena. He and another person who ran because he couldn't confront the problems that were coming. I have to say thank you.
I do not see anyone raising their hands.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. If there's no objection by the members of the City Council, successor agency, I will close public participation for public hearing item number 6.1. And then I'll go ahead and double check. Does any other member of the council have any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we will close the public hearing at 6:58 p.m. All right. Is there any motions on the floor?
I move to approve staff's recommendations.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez and a second by Councilwoman Guillen. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Guillen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa?
Yes.
And Mayor Chavez?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you so much for that. We will now move on to public participation for non-agenda items listed on the agenda. Public participation is now open. City Clerk, please announce the instructions.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items not listed on the agenda. Please state your name for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes, subject to an overall 30-minute period. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining us through Zoom who want to speak on items not listed on the agenda may use the raise hand feature and select the unmute microphone icon when instructed. We will first hear from speakers that are in person, and we did not receive any written comments.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. If there's no objection by the members of City Council, I believe there is a hand
Somebody
raised
who's
on
raising their hand
on the
virtually.
Zoom.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Zoom ID Gabriela Gomez, you may proceed with your comment.
Good evening, Mayor Chavez and City Council. I have a couple of comments. My first comment is I want to commend Mayor Chavez and the City Council members for their defense of our community. I have seen you out there. I have become aware of some of the activities that you've been engaged in to help protect the community, whether it is patrolling and alerting people to ICE, agents that are in the area, to speaking out. Thank you very much. I think that means that means a whole lot to the community that you guys are stepping up. Also, I want to invite everyone to join me on Tuesday nights. We do a bike ride. This is a community bike ride that we do on Tuesday nights. It's an hour and a half. We roll out at 7 p.m. from Ford Park. It's a completely protected bike path and bike lanes. It's about an hour and a half ride. We ride to Pico Rivera. We have people from the Pico Rivera Women's Bicycle Club that roll up to Bell Gardens to meet with us at 7 p.m. and then we ride back with them to their starting point, and then our group rides back to Bell Gardens. This is a great way for people to unplug from all of the negativity that is on, your phones, on the news, on so much of the things that are stressing us right now. This is a good way to get out and unplug and get some physical fitness, and it's great for your mind and body. So joy is resistance. Bicycling brings me joy, and I think that every time that we go out riding, when we start out, we're all pretty much stressed out by all of the news of the day, and by the time we get back, we're feeling a whole lot better. So I would like to invite all of you to join us. I'd like to invite our residents to join us and to build some solidarity. And finally, I would also like to invite the community, those who can, to join us in a day of service with Stella Kiwanis. What we do is that we essentially put together some food items that we distribute to our neighbors, especially those that are vulnerable right now. A lot of people are afraid, whether they're undocumented or citizens. They're afraid. They're afraid to get out and to go out to the store, to go about their daily lives. And so that's what we're doing. We're putting together food boxes and we're doing deliveries. We just did that on Saturday. We delivered produce, canned goods, dried goods, toilet paper, paper towels, all kinds of items that we delivered to
15
families
seconds
in
left.
need. So please join us. If you need more information on that, you can reach out to me at Active Stella on Instagram. Again, that's Active Stella on Instagram if you have any questions about participating in a day of service, or Stella Kiwanis at Instagram as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, City Clerk, is there any more comments?
We received one written comment on, but that's on the, okay, we received one public comment on non-agenda item, just to project that for the record.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. And also thank you to Mayor Gabriela Gomez for calling in as well to the council meeting. All right, there's no objection. We will move on to public participation on agenda items. City Clerk.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The members will now have an opportunity to speak on items listed on the agenda. Please state your name for the record before addressing your comments. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone. And when instructed, dial *6 to unmute. Individuals joining us through Zoom may make a request to make a comment on agenda items by using the raise hand feature and select the unmute or microphone icon when instructed. We did receive one written comment, and that was distributed to the full council and recorded as part of the record.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. I'd like to call up Rogelio Rodriguez.
Lo que voy a hablar es tocante a la inmigración. Primero que todo, quiero felicitar a usted.
I want to congratulate you, him, for having come out and trying to put a break on these savages. These people are not people, they're animals. They don't, Trump called them animals, but they don't respect anyone, not young people, not women, not children, not old people. And this person is against everyone, all of you. Everyone here is Latino. They just approved help for people who have family members who are he's yelling and I can't understand him. Can you understand him? Because I can't. I can't.
And each year they just want to screw us more. And another thing, the tariffs. They're trying to charge us 20, 30% tariffs. This person, this Mr. Trump, is really quite stupid. They say Republicans, I'll just vote for the person who is going to give us benefits to the community. That's the person I vote for. I don't vote for someone just because they told me. Nevertheless, unfortunately, I also voted for that person. The other thing, he just mentioned to us, he promised to us that there wouldn't be wars. Now what position are we in? We're about to start the Third World War. I'm not worried because I'm on my way out. But what about the young people? We need to stand up. We need to stand up as a small community. That's why I admire you, because you had the balls to go out and say to people, what, this is not right. What's going on? But I think what we should do, a lot of people are breaking doors, breaking windows, and breaking cars. That's wrong because it's private property, but they didn't give a crap. They didn't give a crap. They broke things and they just took them out as if they were animals. We have to create some funds to be able to help these people. Thank you.
I'd like to call up Marta Carrasco.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Marta Carrasco. Yo
Good
quiero
afternoon.
felicitarlos a
My
ustedes
name is
por
Marta
su
Carrasco. I want to
liderazgo,
commend all of you for your
de
leadership,
haber
your
hecho la
courage,
protesta. Desgraciadamente yo
for
no pude
having
estar con ustedes
done the
porque me
protest.
sentía mal,
Unfortunately,
estaba
I wasn't
viendo
feeling well and I
la
couldn't
televisión
be with you, but I was
quiero
watching it on
felicitar en
TV,
especial
and
al
I
joven
want to
Jorgel que tuvo sus
commend all of you,
pantalones bien puestos y no
especially
permitir que
Jorge, the
hicieran
young man
más,
Jorge,
continuaran lo de
that
antes,
he
haciendo sus
stood
cosas que
up
estaban haciendo.
and
También
just
quiero
told ICE they
felicitar
couldn't
a
keep
la
doing what
señora
they were doing. I
Francis
also want
que
to commend
el
Francis.
viernes
On
antepasado
Friday,
tuvimos la yard sale.
Friday a week ago, we had the yard sale. There were about 15 of us at the most. And nothing really was sold, but Francis came running up to give us information saying immigration's at the DMV. And she came back again. Oh, now they're in Ford Park. And we were reporting it to the people we know. We were sending out the message immediately. I have 3 groups of friends, like phone trees from church, and they said, don't go out, don't go out. And that helped a lot. We did not have customers. There were some older people there because they're here legally, but thank you, Francis, who would come up running, and she gave us the red cards, give them to everyone. And Jorge, such a young man, we're so proud of him. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much for helping the community.
Gracias. I would like to call up Nora Sainez.
Good evening, council. I actually came to address the participation or the advocacy that the council has done for the residents. But to my surprise, when I got here, I see that you have my old community development director from the city of Bell here. I was actually a planning commissioner when he became a director over there. So I was kind of heartbroken that you guys stole him from us. So our loss, your gain. On a positive note, or I don't even know if it's a positive one, I kind of regret moving out of the city a couple years ago. It's been a few years. I commend everything that you guys have done for your people. Okay. Our community right now, it's being attacked. We're being treated like animals by the government of the United States. Jorge, I've seen you on Facebook posts where you are fighting for the community. I believe that elected officials are not just shouldn't just go out to the community when it comes time to gain vote or ask for votes, but when the people need it, you need to step up. And I commend the work that you have done. Ernesto Flores, I met you a couple months back. I went to your restaurant. I really liked how you stood for the community. I haven't seen what you did recently, but I'm gonna go on Facebook and see what you did. I'm a firm believer, aside from being a former planning commissioner, I'm an advocate and I'm an activist for my community in the city of Bell. And I think right now, our communities, all of Southeast LA, we're under attack. The only way that we are going to beat this administration is if we all work together. That's our elected officials along with the community and our local law enforcement. That's another one that I want to commend too, is I seen when there was a protest on the corner of Florence and Eastern. Jorge, you were there with your people, but you also had your police department there with the people. And I think that speaks volumes on the community. I am going to go around to our local cities and ask for local law enforcement to start protecting the residents and not protecting the kidnappers, the abductors, because that's what they are doing. They are taking our people without due process. So I think we have a chief of police here. I don't know what training they have, but I want to implore all of our local law enforcement to protect its residents from what we are currently being subjected to, and that's families being broken, that's people being abducted on their way to work, at work. I also work at a school. I've had to walk parents to their homes because they're afraid to leave the school campus. So we're all if we work together, vamos a vencer. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I'd like to call up Esther Escamilla.
Buenas tardes a todos. Bueno, es bien difícil porque desgraciadamente a mí me pasó eso con mi esposo.
Really hard because this happened to me and my husband on Friday before 8. He came out because he always gives me a ride to work. He went to get his truck and I was getting ready to go because I always forget something. I have to go back to get something. And when he was coming around the corner on Ajax, he was just about to turn when he heard the siren. And he had to stay there frozen in the driveway. And he never blocks the driveway, but he did this time. The agents got out. Thank you, U.S. Marshals. And I had come out. And when I saw all of that, I was frozen. I didn't know what to do. One of the officers turned and looked at me and he said, you know, he signaled to me to leave or to go back inside. They asked him questions, and then when I looked, I saw that they made him get out of the truck, and they were putting him in a truck. I didn't know whether to record it or call someone. All I thought of was to call my children, but they didn't answer. And finally, my son Manuel answered, and I said, "Look, they're taking your dad." We tried to follow him, but then they took off and even ran a red light. And he came back and he said, "I couldn't catch them. I don't know where they went." We didn't have any news about him until Saturday, and that was because right away he was taken to Texas. He's in El Paso, Texas right now. They only gave him a few minutes to talk to us. He called me today because he was going to be transferred to another center, a concentration camp. My daughter called me afterwards because he was afraid. I don't know if he saw something on TV or on the internet that supposedly they want to send them to Libya. This is a constant terror. Our children are terrified. They didn't want me to come, but I said, no, I'm going to come. If I have the bad luck of getting caught, then so be it. But I wanted to come and see if I could get any information about how we can help our families, how you can help our families. They only let us talk for a few minutes. He has diabetes. Whether he's getting his medicine, I don't know. But it's a constant anguish because we don't know what his fate is going to be. And if they really want to send them to other countries other than their country of origin, I don't know what else to say, but that is what is happening to me and my family. Thank you. Thank you.
City Clerk, do we have any more comments?
No one is raising their hand virtually.
Thank you for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just have one person
yeah,
just
Gabriela
raised their
Gomez.
hand.
Mayor Gomez.
Like you, listening to her experience is heartbreaking. I'm sure this is for not for public agenda items, right? For items on the agenda right now.
Yes.
Okay, so I did want to speak on items 11.6 and 11.7 in support of both of those resolutions. That's all I want to say about that. I think those are great resolutions. We need all of that, so let's do that. I also want to address our police department. I know that you are committed to not assisting with ICE enforcement, but I think that we need a little bit more than a commitment to not assist. I think that we need a commitment to protect. And the way that what that looks like to me is these people that are coming through with masks, not identifying themselves, not having warrants, unlawfully detaining people. We need protection from that. And the way I see that happening is that if someone is approached, if anybody's witnessing, if they can call themselves, if they can call BGPD and have somebody come out there and have our police force verify who these people are, question them. What are your credentials? Who are you? What is your name? What is your badge number? Because it's not right. But I was reading an article that approximately 4,000 people, like this whole ICE raid has broken the immigration system in terms of how people are being entered into the system. There are right now there are 4,000 people at least that there are no records for. We don't know where they are. Their family members cannot find them. So we need to be questioning who these people are, and in that way protecting our residents. Because everybody's remembering, and I hate to say this right now, and I really don't want to, but everyone right now is protecting their First Amendment rights to free speech, but everyone is forgetting that we also have Second Amendment rights. And at some point, this is going to escalate, and we don't want that. So we need our police department to be committed, to go out there to protect the community, to question who these people are whenever we see them, whenever there's a report that they're in our city. So I hope that we can count on our police department to do that. Chief Camacho, I have the greatest respect for you and for all of our police department. You're our friends, you are our neighbors.
5 seconds left.
And I would ask that you would step up for us in that way. Thank you.
Thank you. I have one more person who raised their hand.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Jazz. I'm a member of the community in Sela. I partake in multiple actions, or have been actually for a minute now, unfortunately, given the situation that we're facing. I just wanted to give a really brief comment in respects to civic engagement and council members maybe potentially be willing to partake in that a little bit more. I do commend, however, the people that have been present. And the reason why I say that is a lot of our community members don't have access to a lot of the information that most of us have had the privilege to have access to. That is civic education, right? Not all of our community members are able to go to certain meetings in the evening because they have 2 jobs. So I think the best way, ideally, and this is just a suggestion, is for our council members to go out there, meet us in the streets, show them what it's like to be engaged in the community in a safe way, right? In a safe manner where they feel like they're being, 1, supported, and 2, kind of not siloed in the corner, expecting some type of outcome by just being present. It's not just only being part of an action, but it's a process, right? And a process that's just part of the process of being civically engaged. But just putting it out there, but thank you to those that actually did show up. Commend you for that. And sadly to say, I hate to say it, but I think that's gonna continue happening. And until this stops, would appreciate to see some of you out there too. All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Mayor and council members, that was the last speaker.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. All right, moving right along, we'll go ahead and go to the next item. What was that? There's no objection by members. I will close public participation on agenda items. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, external committee updates. Does any member of the council have anything to report from their external committees? All right, seeing none, I'll go ahead and move on to the next item, and I'll pass it over to our city manager.
Thanks again, Mayor Chavez. I'll give a brief city manager report this evening. So just want to mention June 19th was Juneteenth, first time the city has officially celebrated holiday, which is the Independence Day from slavery, is a day that's recognized. We already had previously scheduled the first summer night concert. We had the concert. great band, but obviously lightly attended, considering the circumstances. I think people just don't feel safe coming out. So we may, kind of talked with the council a little bit about maybe adjusting some events going forward over the next couple weeks. Just out of a sense of caution and just for safety of residents and participants. On June 20th, we still had the resident art and yard sale, very lightly attended. Also was the free farmers market. There were two community groups that had reached out through Councilmember Barsina and worked with our Recreation Community Services and the Support and Feed group that actually provides the food. So there were residents that didn't want to come out to get food, but did want food from the farmers market. So they coordinated with this community group, worked through Recreation Community Services and Support and Feed. We're able to bag up food so that this community group could deliver it to people that had made a request. So that was last Friday. This Saturday, we held another Know Your Rights workshop. This was focused on family protection. This was another one with the Mexican American Opportunity Fund. In that vein, we still continue to push out workshops that are being offered by state and county agencies, as well as workshops that are provided by the city. Always want to give a plug. If somebody just searches Bell Gardens Immigration, Bell Gardens Immigración, you'll go to our webpage and see there's red card information and also links to other services. You see the Tarjeta Roja page up there on the big screen here. I want to mention tomorrow is a neighborhood watch meeting at Ross Hall that's still scheduled. And there is a presentation in Espanol from the LA County Fire Department for hands-free CPR training. Kind of moving forward, we'll be talking with the council to look at future events such as the movie in the park this Thursday, the Independence Day event next Thursday, and then possibly the event that is another movie in the park on July 10th, depending on how things are going. We may be able to shift some of those event resources. While we can't shift them to other projects, we can shift them to future dates. So potentially the laser show and the big extravagant part of the Independence Day event could potentially be shifted to Fiestas Patrias or to the Halloween event, so that maybe there would be more residents at that time. Hopefully things may be different and residents would be more willing and able to come out in a safe manner. We still have other items scheduled out going into July. Again, those would be subject to further discussion with council to see what makes sense for the community of Bell Gardens. In addition to that, if you look at the agenda under the consent calendar, there's still the normal city business that's carrying on. The consent calendar on this agenda features heavily items that improve, beautify, and help keep the city clean and maintained. There's $4.5 million for complete streets improvements that will be carrying on over the next several weeks and months. An amendment to an agreement with our trolley service provider. So for the first time that we're aware of, the trolley service will be provided on Sunday in addition to Monday through Saturday service. So there'll be 2 pickups per hour at each location on Sunday. The other service schedules will stay the same Monday through Saturday. So nothing will change Monday through Saturday. New service, 2 pickups a day on Sunday. That would be for a 1-year pilot period, as we have some funding available for that. Also, we're accepting the completion of the pavement that was done on Eastern Avenue, pretty much the length from Florence all the way down to where it meets Garfield. Also on the consent calendar is the installation of water lines for the aquatic center. There's a deed restriction that, if approved by the council, it ensures that the new dog park area remains park space, does not revert back to residential or any other potential use. We also have 2 more items here: a contract with Brightview Landscape for landscaping at the sports center. That's with our current landscape provider. And the final item we have is a resolution within the consent calendar that supports the Lower LA River Para Todos campaign. That's being carried out by the Rivers and Mountains Conservancy, and it's the attempt there is to ensure equity and improvements to park space along the Lower LA River. That includes Bell Gardens and the area around Ford Park. So with that, I'll thank you and turn it over to you, Mayor.
Thank you so much for that report, Ms. City Manager. Glad to see all the improvements that are happening throughout our city. All right, moving on to consent calendar. Does any member of the council have any items that they would want to they wish to pull to have a separate discussion? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion?
Move to approve item 11.1 through 11.12.
Second.
That's 11.10.
It's 11.12.
All right, we have a motion by Councilwoman Dr. Francis De Leon Sanchez and a second by Mayor Pro Tem De La Rosa. We'll go ahead and we'll do a vote out loud. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. All right, moving on to the next item, we have the local commissions appointment. Any member of the council wish to add or change anybody on the commissions that they serve? All right, seeing none, I do want to take a quick 5-minute break for this next item. We're going to come back in about maybe 5 minutes or so, we'll say 7:40 at the latest. And it's going to be discussion of immigration enforcement and update on community resources. So we'll be right back in about 8 minutes.
Mayor, members of the council, the meeting has continued to stream online now.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. Moving on to the next item, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Chavez.
Before we continue, apologies on that. I got a resident who had wanted to make a comment. So if there's no objection by the members of the City Council, I'd like to open public participation on non-agenda item and call up, I think her name was Aurelia or Aria. It started with an O. Se me olvidó su nombre, señora, pero. Sí, a usted. Adelante, por favor. ¿Cómo dijo que se llamaba usted?
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Hortensia Miguel. ¿Sí?
Good evening. My name is Hortensia Orel.
Yo soy
I'm
kiosquito comunitario. Soy voluntaria.
I'm a
Vengo a darle las gracias
community
a todos
volunteer.
ustedes por
I've come
permitirme
to
estar aquí.
thank all of you
También
for
darle las
allowing me to
gracias
be
a
here and
Jorge
to thank
por ser
Jorge
valiente
for
y
being
a
brave
defendernos de el ICE.
and
Y
for
también para
defending
toda mi
us
comunidad,
from
muchas
ICE.
gracias.
And
Traigo
also thank you so much to my
estos talleres que estamos
community.
dando para
The
toda la
workshops
comunidad.
that
Quisiera
we
que
have
nos
been giving to
ayudaran.
all of the
Estamos
community,
trayendo muchos talleres de salud mental.
we're having a lot of mental
También nos quiere
health
ayudar con
workshops
comprendiendo la ansiedad.
and to understand
Todo lo
anxiety
que ahorita estamos pasando con todo lo de ICE.
and
Entonces,
about everything that
a
we're
eso
going through
estoy
right
aquí
now with
para invitar
immigration.
a toda mi
That's why I'm
comunidad.
here to
Todos estos
invite the
talleres
whole
son
community,
totalmente gratis.
and these workshops are
La
totally
ciudad nos está
free.
dejando hacerlos
The city is
enfrente
allowing
del
us to do the
Neighbor
workshops
Youth Center.
here in Neighbor
¿Sí?
Youth Center,
Y somos
Neighborhood
parte
Youth
de la
Center.
comunidad.
We're
Y
part of
gracias
the
por
community, and
permitirme para
thank
que
you
toda mi
for
comunidad esté
allowing
listo,
me so that the whole community
no
is
tengan
ready
miedo más que
and
nada. No
isn't
somos ilegales, todos
fearful.
somos
We're not
legales aquí. No hay que tener
illegal.
miedo.
Everyone here
Gracias.
is legal,
Somos
and
aquí
you
en
don't
Centro
have to
Comunitario
be
de Belgardas. Muchas gracias.
afraid.
Muchas
Thank you
gracias
so
por
much.
compartir. If there's no objection by the members of the City Council, I would like to close public participation on non-agenda items. And with that said, I'll pass it over to City Manager for next item.
Thanks again, Mayor Chavez. This item was a somewhat late add to the agenda last week on Thursday. The intention of this item is for the City Council to have a discussion of immigration enforcement issues, which you've been hearing about and are acutely aware of. Also an update on community resources. Some of that was provided as part of the city manager's report. If you go to our calendar, you just see we consistently are pushing out through the calendar, social media, resources that are available to the community from different resources. But really the intent here is for the council to have a discussion among themselves, to have staff present to answer questions, be that the city manager, city attorney, police chief, all the department heads, the city clerk, and then seek potential future direction or further direction regarding matters related to immigration enforcement and the impacts that it has on the residents, the overall community, whether that's businesses, schools, churches, and also the city as an organization as well. So with that, I will turn it over to the mayor to lead this discussion. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much for that, City Manager. I'm glad that this item came to us here to this body. I first and foremost wanted to bring this item to have this discussion with everybody here present, everybody on our staff, the director, city manager, and our council. And I'm pretty sure Councilmember Barcena would like to be here, but unfortunately he can't join us, and I hope that he watches this afterwards as well. There's a lot of activity that's been happening throughout our city and throughout the region, here in Sela and in LA County and the state as a whole. And I just kind of wanted to get a sense of what's going on in terms of our staff. What are we doing in terms of capacity when it comes to protecting our residents? And what are some tools that we can use in our disposal as a city to protect those that are the most vulnerable, specifically immigrants, undocumented folks, and just anybody who's being picked up by the federal government in general. So those are kind of my question, city manager, I know, I expect to open this discussion as well. So if at any point anybody wants to chime in or wants to or has questions about what we're just going to be discussing, please, by all means. And our community is scared, and we want answers. We want to know, the people want to know that their city government is doing something to protect them. And
So I have a list of questions that I want to ask the chief of police. I know there's a lot of misinformation of what, us as local elected officials can do, what our PD can do. So I'm going to ask that my colleagues refrain from any comments or anything at this time, because I just want to go through this whole list of questions that I gathered from some residents, obviously people that are concerned, and all these questions have to deal with the police department, chief. So I want to direct them to you if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So the first question, under both the 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and California SB 54, local law enforcement agencies are not obligated and in many cases are prohibited from using their personnel or resources to assist in federal immigration enforcement. Can you confirm that the Bell Gardens Police Department does not coordinate with or support ICE operations in any official capacity?
That's correct. We do not assist or work with ICE.
Thank you. California Community Caretaking Doctrine and Penal Code 538D give local police the authority to stop and investigate individuals or vehicles suspected of impersonating law enforcement, especially when vehicles are unmarked or occupied or occupants are wearing tactical gear without IDs. Is it standard practice for Bell Gardens PD officers to verify identity and agency credentials in such cases?
Correct.
Once it's confirmed that individuals operating in the city are federal agents, including ICE, local police must refrain from interfering with their lawful duties to avoid obstruction of federal operations. Do our officers disengage and report up the chain of command once that confirmation is made?
Correct.
State law and constitutional protections prohibit local officers from questioning individuals about their immigration status during routine police interactions unless it's directly relevant to an investigation. Can you confirm that Bell Gardens PD officers are trained to follow this directive and refrain from immigration-related questioning?
That's correct. So our officers currently receive training from our BGPD policy 414. And then also we go over the SB 54 Values Act. In addition, POST also requires us to look at videos that they provide. So we receive training in all this.
Thank you. The California Values Act SB 54 restricts information sharing between local law enforcement and federal immigration authorities, including details about release dates or personal information, unless there's a judicial warrant. Is BGPD in compliance with this law?
We are, ma'am.
Given the growing number of community reports regarding individuals claiming to be ICE agents operating in unmarked vehicles without proper identification, do you agree that it is within Bell Gardens PD duty to document these incidents and verify their legitimacy when public safety is at risk?
Correct.
Given that Bell Gardens PD is permitted to lawfully engage, verify identification, and ensure public safety when community members report unidentified individuals acting under the color of law without obstructing federal operations, are officers specifically trained to respond appropriately with this limited but crucial scope?
Yes, ma'am.
To avoid confusion or potential liability, are all Bell Gardens PD officers explicitly instructed to decline any requests to assist with immigration enforcement by ICE and to immediately refer such situations to command staff or legal counsel?
Correct.
Lastly, it has come to the public's attention that Bell Gardens PD officers were recently observed providing support along LAPD and Bell Police Department officers. Can you please clarify the scope and purpose of our mutual aid agreement with neighboring agencies, the importance of such agreements for regional public safety, and confirm that Bell Gardens PD's presence in these instances was solely to assist local law enforcement, not federal immigration authorities, and to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents?
Yes, and if I could take the time to kind of just elaborate on that. So Los Angeles County law enforcement agencies, including the sheriffs and the other 47 independent city police departments, operate under a formal mutual aid agreement to assist each other during major unplanned events, and it exceeds the single agency's capacity. So in other words, for example, what happened on Friday, the city of Bell had a mutual aid, they activated mutual aid. We're under Area E. And so we are pretty much obligated to send 50% of our staff to assist. They were requesting assistance because they were overwhelmed with the crowd, with the incident that happened with the ICE agents. So we have an obligation because this is a two-way street. And we, for example, when we had the actual demonstration last week on Friday and Saturday, there was a point where I only had 8 to 10 officers on duty. And keep in mind that we're still responding for calls of service. So if at any point that crowd would have gone out of control, then I would have also activated mutual aid. And then everybody in the area E that we belong to would have sent us 50% of their staff. So I'm obligated, for example, if I have 8 officers working that day, four of them will leave to assist that agency. And then it works both ways. I would also get the same support from all the mutual area E agencies. And so if I could just talk a little bit more about, when we get to the agencies that are requesting mutual aid, we're only there to assist. The primary agency will always take the lead on whatever that is. So there's a lot of respects among us here in the Southeast. We have an association that I belong to, the Southeast Chiefs. So everybody is pretty much on board, and everybody knows that at any given time, small agencies like us, we need to have this understanding and help each other out.
Thank you so much for clarifying that. And I think it's important that, we review these questions so that we know what our local law enforcement is able to do. And you just mentioned CELA. I know that us as elected officials in the CELA region are really trying to work together to ensure that we're helping our residents. So, thank you, Chief, for answering those questions and clarifying some of that.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. De Leon Sanchez. Anybody else have any questions or want to jump in on this? This is difficult.
Esto es difícil. Yo creo que es muy difícil para nosotros como ciudades, como oficiales elegidos por la comunidad, responder a lo que la comunidad nos pide. Es individualmente nosotros como concejales, como oficiales elegidos, es muy difícil participar en lo que está pasando con ICE, con estos bounty hunters, lo que les llamemos. Quiero tener esta conversación a lo que dijo la doctora de León Sánchez, porque es importante saber lo que dice la ley. Tenemos que trabajar dentro de los límites de la ley. Lo que no queremos, nadie de este consejo quiere es que el gobierno federal, que ICE, tome a nuestra comunidad. Yo no quiero eso, no quiero verlo, no quiero escucharlo. Yo lo he dicho claramente, si en algún momento los de ICE, los marshals, los de seguridad interna Yo voy a hacer un recurso para salir, para hacer constancia, para grabar, para participar activamente. Hay Chirla, hay organizaciones que acuden rápidamente y hay un número al que pueden marcar y ellos acuden. Lo que queremos como agencia gubernamental de la ciudad de Bell Gardens es que queremos saber cómo la policía de Bell Gardens, que son los que protegen a esta comunidad, que si pueden hacer más, aparte de lo que dice aquí por papel las leyes. Si yo llamo a la policía de Bell Gardens, si algún residente llama y dice, oiga, aquí está un grupo enmascarado con armas de fuego, con vidrios polarizados, no lleva placas, y yo llamo al departamento de policía de Bell Gardens. ¿Qué hace la policía de Bell Gardens cuando eso sucede? Alcalde Chávez, con una situación como esa, estamos obligados y vamos a acudir a esa llamada para servicio, para investigar. Y vamos a ser oficiales de policía legítimos. Vamos a confirmar si son agentes de policía legítimos, estatales o federales, pero no voy, una vez que sepa yo quiénes son, no voy a poder decirle a la parte que llamó, solo voy a poder decirles que todo está bien, pero yo no voy a poder compartir esa información porque yo estaría obstruyendo la justicia. Al parecer, usted no nos puede decir a nosotros, no puede usted confirmar si es otra agencia, una agencia federal, usted no podrá confirmar eso. Lo que podemos hacer como un departamento de policía es, si recibimos una llamada y la parte que denuncia, si hay un vehículo sospechoso delante de su casa con vidrios polarizados, placas de papel, alguien está adentro, vamos a salir a verificar quién es. Pero una vez que lo verifiquemos, si son agentes del orden público, no vamos a poder compartir nada más. Pero a lo mejor podemos tranquilizar al residente para decirles que está bien si ellos quieren irse o si quieren quedarse ahí estacionado. Eso depende de ellos. Si alguien está a la puerta de ellos y a lo mejor lleva un chaleco y no dice nada y dicen ser de tal agencia de orden público, si llaman, vamos a salir a verificar. Y una vez que se haga la verificación, lamentablemente no podemos impedir la investigación. Básicamente nos tenemos que remover de esa situación. Si hay una situación en la que estos que se hacen pasar, porque como residentes no hay forma de confirmar si son quienes afirman ser, porque no tienen nada que los identifiquen. Tienen estos uniformes, pero ni siquiera le llamaría uniforme, es un chaleco, a lo mejor dice agencia del orden público o policía. Claramente lo que tengo entendido es que así no actúa la policía y no se cubren la cara, y eso es lo que está pasando ahora. Si a mí me paran o si ellos obstruyen mi vehículo en la ciudad y con fuerza me piden que me baje del auto y ni siquiera me permiten hacer preguntas, porque la idea era, tuvimos estas tarjetas rojas que se supone que nos ayudan si nos encontramos con alguien quien dice ser de ICE. Pero obviamente los residentes que tratan de ejercer sus derechos los están brutalizando, rompiendo sus vidrios, bajándolos de sus carros. ¿Qué puede hacer la policía cuando la comunidad tiene miedo y quiere respuestas? Lo único que tenemos para defendernos son estas tarjetas rojas, estos derechos que, entre comillas, tenemos, los cuales claramente se están violando en esta situación. Si yo llamo en ese momento, ¿qué pasa? Yo he visto los videos que describe usted y yo estoy de acuerdo con usted que Es muy caótico, es un caos. Hay muchos que no traen lo que nosotros recomendamos o lo que exigimos porque citarlos porque no cumplen la ley estatal, porque van a decir, no cumplimos la ley estatal, somos los federales. Si hay una forma no hay forma de demorar el proceso porque yo estaría impidiendo su investigación. Lo que probablemente pueda yo hacer, nuestros oficiales están capacitados y ya estamos haciendo esto. Tomamos un momento para avisarles a todos de que ahí estamos y podemos verificar de que ellos no se hacen pasar por agentes de orden público. Una vez que verifiquemos que son agentes del orden público, tenemos que dejar que hagan su trabajo y yo no lo puedo impedir. Muchas gracias. ¿Alguien más tiene una pregunta? Es difícil, ¿verdad? Porque obviamente queremos ver que pasa más. Pero le repito, tenemos una responsabilidad y para mí lo que a mí me llama a la acción ahora es si uno ve algo, llama al 911, use la bocina, haga ruido, se tiene que unir la comunidad. Sí, hay un departamento de policía, pero hay más residentes en la ciudad. Ya para cuando llega la policía ya se ha salido de control la situación o los individuos ya se han ido y a veces no sabemos quiénes son, no sabemos lo que está pasando. Así que yo veo realmente nos tenemos que unir como una comunidad para poder sobreponernos a esto, como un individuo, no como concejal, sino que como un residente de aquí hay ciertas cosas que yo puedo hacer, que si voy a obstruir la justicia, posiblemente, pero es una elección que hago yo. No estaría a gusto pidiéndoles a mis colegas que lo hagan si no están de acuerdo con hacerlo. Tampoco estoy a gusto pidiéndole al departamento de policía que obstruya la justicia porque hay ciertas consecuencias que conlleva eso. Pero yo como individual puedo decidir hacerlo. Muchas gracias, doctora de León Sánchez. Gracias por mencionarlo, doctora de León Sánchez. Tuvimos una conversación los dos para explorar conversaciones en cuanto a lo que podemos hacer, lo que no podemos hacer dentro de los límites legales y considerando lo que se considera arriesgosas acciones, ¿verdad? Toda esta situación no tiene precedentes y tenemos que recordarnos, como mencionó la doctora de León Sánchez, tenemos que separar lo que hacemos como individuos de lo que hacemos como personas que toman decisiones en esta ciudad. Así que sí, viene siendo estar en las líneas y el comunicarnos con los residentes e informarnos lo más que se pueda. He estado pensando en opciones para ayudar a nuestros residentes y aún zonas seguras pueden ser algo a considerarse. Podemos establecer zonas que sirven de refugios para la comunidad. Y muchas de nuestras ideas requieren dinero. Hablé con Jorge sobre unas ideas y sería prudente hablar del presupuesto, a ver si podemos asignar unos recursos durante esta situación urgente. Jorge y yo hemos tenido conversaciones difíciles sobre esto y creo que vale la pena explorar, presentar resoluciones y mecanismos de apoyo a esta ciudad. Tal como mencionaron, lo más difícil de esto es la batalla entre la moralidad y las legalidades. La última cosa que yo quiero, nuestra comunidad está en una situación difícil, como han visto ustedes, los que están aquí. Ellos siempre están ahí para nosotros, para nuestra comunidad. Cuando los necesitamos, ellos están ahí para responder. Y al momento de decir, responder a una situación así, por decir, no sé cómo decirlo, obstrucción de justicia en español, obstrucción de justicia, no,
para hacer esas verificaciones, para respaldarnos, para poder respaldar que en sí tenemos a alguien que sí está ahí, por decir, haciendo su trabajo, pero como digo, esta situación en sí es muy difícil. Muchos saben que esto es mi día a día. De 8 a 5 trabajo en temas migratorios. Es devastante, es aterrante tener que ver que día a día los números sí suben, las deportaciones incrementan. Tengo que decirle a las familias que todo está bien, y tener que enfrentarlo como líder ante mi comunidad. Esto no está bien, la verdad, sí afecta y usted nos compartió su historia y la verdad lo siento mucho. Gracias por compartir, por tener el valor de presentarse aquí. No sé, solamente usted sabe de dónde sacó ese valor. Dios le dio ese valor y la verdad, no sé si ya habló con nuestro alcalde, pero a ver cómo la podemos ayudar con recursos. Se queda poquito para poder platicar con usted.
Thank you so much for that, Mayor Pro Tem and Councilwoman Guillen. This is such a difficult topic. And because we have and I get it. I completely understand the law, and I understand that there's parameters and there's only so much our chief can do or our police department. But what we're seeing is completely unacceptable. And I don't want to see this continually happening in Bell Gardens or anywhere in Southeast Los Angeles, because we see our neighbors going through the same thing. And we're scrambling. We're trying to figure out what can we do, the amount of messages and outreach and support and right. And I appreciate the comments that were made and about the video and going out there and sort of telling ICE que se fuera, right? Because we don't want him here. And I believe that it's my duty as your mayor, as your leader within this city, to represent you. To when we were out there protesting on Eastern and Florence Friday and Saturday last week, and I want to recognize Kenya, who started it. It's powerful, the amount of community that's willing to go behind this issue and support our undocumented brothers and sisters and siblings that are going through this. I don't even want to just say undocumented, because they're taking citizens. They're taking citizens. I don't know, and Lego's probably gonna advise not to speak about this, but it's difficult, especially because in my position, in this where I put myself vulnerable in a space where I feel that I now have a target on my back from the federal government for what I did, and I spoke up. There has been a lot of discussion. And the last thing anybody wants is for them to continually come into this city. And there's only so much, again, within the parameters of the law that we can do. What I would love, ideally, in my scenario, I would love to see our Bell Gardens Police Department go out there and stop these people in the middle of when they're chasing our community. Because what we're seeing in car washes, what we're seeing at restaurants, what we're seeing in Home Depots, in Lowe's, it's completely unacceptable. And I would understand if they're chasing criminals and the bad folks and everybody who has a long list. I understand that part. But clearly what's happening is that's not the case. That's not the case. They're going after youth. We all saw what happened in Pico Rivera with the young man at the Walmart, right? So and excuse my language, it pisses me off when I see this. It hurts me because you all are my people. I represent all of you. I took an oath to serve this community, and I can only do so much as your leader in this city, aside from using my own voice. So when we did at Park protest, everybody was peaceful. For the most part, everybody was peaceful. We did have some folks, right, from other areas, and after 10 o'clock, it gets a little bit wild. But hey, I said, everybody, we're gonna be out here, keep it peaceful till 9 o'clock. We were out there for 8 to 10 hours, both Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday, and we had a great time. On Friday, we had Councilwoman De Leon Sanchez join me, and then I know for the next day on Saturday, we had Councilwoman Isabel Guillen and Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa join us. And the community is so united behind this issue. So I want you all to know that we want to do everything we can to continue to protect all of you, because I take it personal when I see this happening. As a son of a former undocumented, my mom was formerly undocumented when she came to this country. Now she's an American citizen. I put myself in your situation. I think about our resident Esther, who came up and who shared her concern. And I think about what went through her mind when she saw this happening right there in our city on Ajax and Engage, right here in this community, in my backyard. And it pisses me off because I almost want to go out there and stand in front of the vehicle and tell them not to go. So that's why I've been making calls to action. I've been sharing with residents. In the first video I did last week, people have been very supportive, as I mentioned. And I make a call. In the beginning, I said, document, record, use your voice, get out there, because that's what we have as our tools, because our rights are being violated, whether we're citizens or we're not right now in this moment. And this isn't coming from somebody who is undocumented. Like, I'm a citizen. I'm the mayor of this city, and I feel that way. I'm afraid that if I go out there again and I record them, or I feel if I go out and I put myself in that position, that what if they go after me? What representation am I going to have for this community as your mayor? Your mayor is going to be gone, and I don't know where. We just heard he's in El Paso. I cannot be your mayor in El Paso, especially locked behind bars. And I don't want that for me, not for any of my colleagues, not for our city manager, our legal counsel, especially not for our officers who are in this position. So again, at this point where we are in these circumstances, we have to stay safe. That's why I put out this video today. We have to stay safe. If you don't have to go outside, don't go outside, please. Especially if you have vulnerable community members, right? Those folks that perhaps only watch the TV and they can't get on social media. They don't know where ICE is in this moment. Or these imposters, these folks that impersonate, because we don't know if they're bounty hunters or we're not, right? So that's why I want to pivot, and I want to give direction to our city staff to begin to shift a lot of the programming that we had for a lot of the events coming up, for a lot of the spring, like the Spring Festival, the summer concerts and movies. We saw last week. We had a concert. I appreciate those that went, but I know I saw Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez there. But compared to our usual concert size, there was people are afraid. People are afraid, and I totally understand that. So I want to shift resources. I want to organize. I want to create a list of deliverables that include, from this point on, providing delivery services for essential goods throughout the city. I know that there are some nonprofits that are already doing that, so maybe perhaps reaching out to them, maybe perhaps bringing forward an MOU between them and us. I want to make a call to all the community to volunteer your time in these moments. You know, and this will be delivery service specifically to the Bell Gardens area. I've spoken with residents. I know Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez has been out there doing deliveries herself, right? That a lot of times are not seen. But she's out there putting them out. She's out there delivering these goods to the community. So I want to create this task force per se, these committee, where we deliver groceries, food, medications, and any necessities for residents, right? We're thinking diapers, baby formula, anything for their kids as well. And we have to act in this moment where we ourselves as city government, if we can't go and stop if we can't go and stop ICE, DHS, these bounty hunters, we can at least service the people of this community by shifting our resources. So delivering those services, I know that the first of the month is coming. I know that a lot of renters live in this city and they're living paycheck to paycheck. I don't even want to say paycheck to paycheck because I said in the last meeting, they're getting paid cash because they work as day laborers and they don't get a paycheck. So I potentially want to explore either creating a fund for rental assistance. I know we have rent stabilization and just cause evictions for a lot of our residents, but continuing exploring that further. I know that there has been folks that reached out about creating a rental moratorium citywide. I think we can study that and explore if that's something that we want to pursue in the future. Again, this is just, we can discuss this, but that would be the second thing. And then finally, as far as the Bell Gardens Police Department, I want to thank you for coming out on Friday, on Saturday, when we had the protest and rally. People love that you're there. People feel safe that you're there. I feel safe. For those that don't know, I was assaulted in the rally. Some person came up, grabbed me, right? And luckily, community right away stepped in. Immediately, PD came in, took the individual. It seems like they were under some sort of substance. And later that night, that individual came forward and actually apologized to me. Right? So, and I also want to thank Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez, who actually saw that happen. It did kind of shake me up being in that environment. But for the most part, I consider my community peaceful. And we're there just to show and express our feelings and emotion. As this is a developing story, right? This is developing every day. The calls that we've been on with legal counsel and the city manager, and it's just every day there's something new. I believe we're going to get direction soon. I hope that this ends. Between now and then, we will continue to do everything we can in our power to protect those that are the most vulnerable. I want to share one final thing. There are a coalition of cities that are in discussion phases about doing something together, including our city. I can't get into the details further, but this is something that we're exploring. And it's similar to what Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez mentioned about joining forces with other cities, but something perhaps to the court system, because we have to look towards the courts. So with that said, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that legal counsel says, hey, you didn't say too much or you didn't say too little, because again, it's all delicate. This is all developing, but that's kind of what we're looking at. And between now and then, we got to continue looking after our siblings and our brothers and sisters in the community, documented or undocumented. If there's anybody else who wants to make a comment, yeah, Councilwoman De Leon Sanchez.
For those of you that are not aware and you are residents of this community, there is a group, an organization that's been around for a long time called Southeast Leadership Network. That is an organization that's been getting groceries, and I've been helping deliver to the communities, not just here in Bell Gardens. We've gone all the way to San Fernando Valley, believe it or not. So if you or somebody in need, all they have to do is contact us via social media. They don't have social media, contact me directly. And we don't engage because some of them are really scared. We literally knock on the door, leave the food at the doorstep, and then, they get it. So if you know anybody that needs that service, please reach out to me.
Thank you so much, Mayor Chavez, for that statement. Additionally, I would want to also explore fiscally, what can be done, see what money, what funds we can squeeze from the budget and responsibly invested in programming. Just to explore the options and see what can be done in that regard. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez, and then also Mayor Pro Tem De La Rosa. All right. Anybody else want to make a comment? All right. Seeing none, I believe there's enough direction, City Manager. I just want to, if you want to add anything in terms of enforcement or things that we've been doing as a city.
I think, Mayor, a lot of the things that we've been doing that we've been talking about for the last 5 or 6 months have been in anticipation of what's happening now. So that would be the workshops with the MAOF, the workshops with the various legal aid groups that have come out, tell people. But all those are great in advance, but they don't really help once people are showing up, arresting people. So I think we obviously have to keep doing that, keep putting those resources out there, keep providing the red card so people have some ability or way to have some confidence to respond if they're engaged, even if it doesn't end up being successful. It's at least empowering them to some degree. And I think with the direction that we've received from the council, there are more things that we can do. And then I think just continuing to monitor potential legislative fixes that are out there. I was corresponding with the city attorney about a no vigilante law that's a state bill that I just saw a couple hours ago has been proposed to require identification from law enforcement that are operating within the state of California. The assumption is maybe that will be, the feds will either sue or have a carve out exemption, but to keep monitoring to see if there's things that the city can do at a local level that maybe can't be done at the state level. And keep pushing forward with these ideas and the direction that you've given here, in addition to continuing to doing the things that we've been doing up until now.
Thank you for that, City Manager. One final thing I want to add to our police department. There is a lot of hope in our officers. You are literally the line of defense for a lot of these residents. We scramble. We don't know what to do. We don't know who to go to. In emergencies, we go to you. And I've said it before, you're the only department that's functioning 24/7. Doesn't matter what day it is, 365 days of the year. So know that our community is counting on our officers here. I appreciate all the work that's been done. I would ask for continuous streamlined communication between the residents. If we get a call about suspicious vehicles that show up in our city, and even if they don't even say the word ICE, or they just say it's a suspicious vehicle, I'm going to be urging residents to give us a call, because we expect the Bell Gardens Police Department to respond. Same thing with tinted windows, no license plate vehicles going through red lights. We want those laws to be enforced throughout the city. And if it happens to be that it is ICE, a follow-up call saying, hey, we responded, and that's it. That's the bare minimum to an extent that we could say something. From that point on, it's up to us as council, and it's up to us as representatives here to take it from there, right? If we want to go out there, like Councilwoman De Leon Sanchez mentioned, and also Mayor Pro Tem De La Rosa, and I believe Councilwoman Guillen, it's up to us if we want to go out and engage and record and do the whole thing. Yeah, thank you.
If I could say something, Mayor Chavez, on behalf of the men and women of the Bell Gardens Police Department, we understand and we're empathetic with the residents. I want everyone to know that we also take this very personal, because a lot of us have family members that are also being affected by this. I could reassure not only the community, but you guys as the elected officials and leaders that we took an oath to do our job, and that's what we're going to do. I just want the community to understand that we've been working, at least I could speak for myself. I've been here 23 years, and I have such great relationship with this community that it frustrates me, because, there's also that possibility that people are going to start doubting when people are full of fear, anxiety, they start believing things that are not real. And that's where I get a little bit frustrated. Because some of the stuff that you see on social media is not fair for us. Having stuff like there's a checkpoint between ICE and, Bell Gardens PD at Garfield and Gage. Absolutely not. That doesn't help anybody. It's already bad enough that the community is going through anxiety and fear, and now you have somebody that's behind a keyboard and is just typing out nonsense. That doesn't help anybody. Again, on behalf of the men and women of the Bell Gardens Police Department, if you call, we're going to respond and we're going to look into it. And we want to continue this great relationship and partnership we have with the community. When people hear of other cities doing stuff or hear rumors, give us an opportunity where if you want to come to the lobby or a lot of the residents have our numbers. And if you want to call us because we have an answer for you. And the answer is we do not work with ICE. We do not assist with ICE. They're going to leave and we're going to be behind. And that's what my concern and everybody's concern, that we don't want this great relationship to just be out the door because we're on the same page. We're on the same team. We don't agree with how things are being done. Thank you for your time, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief, for saying that. Another thing I want to remind staff and my colleagues, like, we're the local elected officials here, right? We're boots on the ground. We're seeing it every day with our residents, and we need help. And I made a call to action to our assembly member, Blanca Pacheco. So if you don't know who your assembly member is, it's Blanca Pacheco, contact her. To our senator, Lina Gonzalez, we need help. What are they doing for us? To our congressman, Robert Garcia, where are you? So all these other elected officials that have more authority than us here at the local level, I'm asking them to help us, not just our city here, but all of CELA, because this is where ICE is heavily present. This is where they're attacking us because we are brown, because we have brown skin, point blank. So, I'm calling you guys as well to please reach out to them so that they can help us.
Thank you so much for that point, and thank you, Chief, as well, for sharing that. One other thing I wanted to mention for our city staff, the folks that serve our community at the parks, at Public Works, here in the City Hall, and obviously on our recreation and in the PD station in the front. And we've had instances where the federal government wants to intervene and step inside the buildings. I would ask that it be official policy that our city staff not allow ICE or the federal government to enter without having the proper documentation and without properly identifying themselves. That'd be a signed judicial warrant and also presenting themselves with a real badge or some sort of identification. I know that that is something local businesses can do as well, as long as they have a sign that questions when you come in with the intent of what your business is. They're allowed to deny entry. It's difficult when it's like a shopping center, like Food for Less or something. I know we've had instances where people went to hide in the Food for Less and they tried to exit through the back and it was already too late because they centered it. Anywhere where it's open to the public, all of us to just walk in and do business, conduct business, ICE can do that as well. It isn't until you have a sign or some sort of thing that impedes them that says employees only or certified staff only or something that protects whoever's entering that's going to conduct business, that is when you're allowed to reject them from entering. So if possible, if we can create some sort of materials, maybe some sort of flyer or something that we can also hand out to our businesses. And I know that there are other city electeds, I think in nearby in Southeast LA here in Cudahy and Bell, that have created little cards that you can put in your front of your door that lists why the reason why, to identify yourself as you're coming in. So I believe that we should also create some of those, and I think it'd be a good idea to maybe it doesn't have to be that big. It could be the size of maybe a public comment card, putting this in the front door. Perhaps we can send it out to all residents and just list the rights, right? I know it's difficult in terms of what we can and we can't do. We don't want to quote unquote obstruct justice. So I want to make sure that we can do that at least with city resources. And I would ask that we send this a mailer out immediately that lists we can touch bases after, but it lists the rights that you have as in your own private home, because we've seen too many videos of people getting their rights violated. So with that said, that concludes. Go for it.
Talking about the businesses, I do have those posters. I have them in English and in Spanish, double-sided. So any business owner that needs it in our community, please reach out to me, free at no cost. I have them available to you.
Thank you so much for that. Perhaps we can share that, and then we could just create copies of that same one. And I'd say we distribute that to all the residents and all the stakeholders, either via mail, or we can just go, as I know our housing department is currently canvassing for, and I know as they're going, they're also dropping out documentations and flyers. We can drop that as well, and for our residents. So just another opportunity for collaboration. So if we can share that. Anybody else want to add anything? Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, I also want to take the time to thank the chief for addressing a concern from a citizen that we had over the weekend. He was very informative, and very attentive to the residents' concerns. So thank you so much, Chief. That means a lot. And again, thank you to the men and women of the Bell Gardens Police Department for standing with us, as we were manifesting peacefully. Y a nuestra gente, muchas gracias por atender la junta de hoy. Ya saben, para lo que sea, pueden contar con mi apoyo. Mi número directo es 562-525-2318. Pueden referirse al video después de la junta, o nos podemos conocer brevemente después de la junta para seguir platicando y llevar a cabo esta conversación. Se los agradezco mucho, pero pueden contar con nuestro apoyo. Muchas gracias.
All right. Well, can you? Yeah.
Miguel de la Rosa, 562-525-2318.
Igual, para ese punto, cada quien nosotros tenemos nuestras tarjetas de la ciudad. Ahí también cada uno tenemos nuestro número de celular que nos pueden marcar directamente también. Muchas gracias. Oh, sí, también las cartas están aquí al fuera, al entrar al City Hall. Okay. There's no objection by the members of the City Council. We have to recommendation. All right. Can I get a motion for this item?
Make a motion to receive and file.
We have a motion. I'll go ahead and second. We'll do a vote by voice. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Okay. Moving on to our discussion of the Regional Aquatic Center. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Chavez. So this item, I guess I would just first acknowledge, in the order of the way the agenda is, it's probably a little bit difficult to go from, this sobering of a discussion to, an update of the Aquatic Center. So I think what I'll do is ask the Public Works Director and Recreation Community Services Director if they could give maybe a summarized version of this presentation, and then if the council would like some more detail as they move through somewhat quicker than normal, if you could please just stop and ask the question. If that's okay with the mayor and the council.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So both directors, if we can be an expedited version of it, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Kelly. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm just gonna go through the slides showing the conceptual design. You have seen this before, and it's just something we like to bring up at every update. This slide just shows some of the background as to how we got to our current point. So contract was awarded January 22nd, 2024, and then construction commenced July 8th, 2024. RJM Design Group is our designer of record, and they have kept reviewing the project, not just the project itself, but also making changes as we go and responding to requests for information. Ardura, the construction management and inspection firm, has conducted the required inspections, conducted the necessary weekly progress meetings, and then also coordinated with some of our utilities, along with reviewing some of the changes and requests for information. Over the last 3 months, Bernard's, our contractor, has completed many items. So I'm just gonna go through these slides showing the bullet points, starting from the steel columns being erected, the block walls being built, the concrete being poured for the pools. They've also installed inside the building itself the overhead conduits, the HVAC units, and also the metal decking for the roof system, so you can already see the actual building if you were to drive by the street. They've also completed the connections from the individual pools to the equipment room, along with building, whether it's the spray features, the slides, the trimmings for the buildings themselves. And as I mentioned, also the equipment such as the pool heaters and the pool filters being installed. They've finished the piping, the lath and plaster for the building, and they've also completed the planters and installed palm trees, so you can already see the palm trees as well. They've conducted some of the excavation and rebar installation for the monument sign. And they have also poured concrete around the amphitheater, geared up for the installation of the electrical lines. And then you can also see the pool tile already being installed. And then they're also beginning some of the last portions of the work, which includes the main 6-inch water lines. You can start seeing the glass panels in the building, and as well as some of the interior features such as doors. So here are some photos of the construction progress. Here's some aerial photographs, bird's eye view, showing what the facility looks like now. And this is a time-lapse video showing the progress to date. For the future, will we anticipate over the last 3 months, we're going to anticipate substantial completion of the project. So that'll include installing the remaining trees, completing the monument sign, installing permanent power for the facility, the shade structures, and towards the end of, beginning of August, the completion of the building construction itself. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Director Nava to talk about programming.
Thank you, Bernie. Just really quickly, just as a reminder, we are currently offering aquatics programming in the city of Montebello at Chet Hollyfield Pool, and we offer swim lessons, which have started for the summer session, and we also offer recreation swim. We have received another grant from LA 84, but this time we've received $25,000 for this summer, which allows us to provide over 825 free swim lessons to the residents of Bell Gardens. This is an increase from last year of $5,000, and staff are really good about getting the word out and getting swimmers in, and so we continue to increase the grants that we receive from LA 84, and we hope to increase that as we continue with our new facility. This is just a reminder about programming and a comparison. I'm just going to go forward with the new aquatic center, and the plan is to offer aquatics programmings that we currently offer, which are swim lessons, rec swim, but we'll add in lap swim, future swim team, water aerobics, as well as weight room classes and community classes, because we'll have a new weight room with our facility. Just to go over really quickly our staff for the new aquatic center, it'll include myself and one full-time staff that oversee the operations, as well as a handful, well, several part-time summer staff and year-round staff to run our pool programming. This is just a brief overview of costs that we currently have for our programming and our future costs, which would include operations, utilities, maintenance, supplies, repairs, as well as staff costs, up about $2.7 million for a 10-month program. And just as a reminder, the budget for our aquatic center is $31.2 million. Most of which is covered by various grants from different entities and approximately 14.6 million from the city's general fund. And then I'll hand it back to Brenna.
Thank you, Liz. So here on this table, we see the project costs. So from inception to date, change order wise, we're at 921,000. And we have about 704,000 remaining, but we're still tracking to finish the project within budget. In conclusion, staff will continue to keep the council informed of the progress. And staff will also seek outside funding sources to minimize the impact to the general fund. It is staff's recommendation that the council receive and file this report. And with that, I will be happy to answer any questions, if any.
Thank you so much to the both of you directors. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments regarding the presentation? All righty then. Thank you so much. Can we get a motion?
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez and a second by Mayor Pro Tem De La Rosa. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Okay, moving on to the final item. Council successor agency comments. We'll start off with Councilwoman Guillen.
Well, I want to thank staff for all your support throughout this whole, it's felt like forever with all the chaos going on, but thank you for everything. Mike, thank you. City Attorney, thank you. A la comunidad que vino hoy, gracias. I don't know where to start. It's a lot of mixed emotions. But somebody told me, if you say it out loud, it becomes easier as time goes on. So I want to, les quiero dar las gracias a todos, a todas ustedes, y reconocer and thank you all for your patience throughout this month. La verdad, sí ha sido un mes muy difícil con todo lo que ha pasado, especialmente ya ven, con todos los ataques que ha sufrido nuestra comunidad. Gracias por su paciencia, for your patience. I feel like sometimes the days are better. And sometimes I'm able to talk about it. Hay unos días que sí puedo hablar de ello. Como ustedes saben, mi papá falleció hace poco. Y la verdad, yo siento que la fuerza me la dan ustedes, Dios, y todo lo que me inculcó Él. Les quiero compartir que antes de fallecer, Él me ayudaba a repartir las tarjetas rojas. y tuve el placer de conocer a la señorita Melissa, quien fue que tuvo el valor de defender al señor en la bicicleta. No sé si vieron el video en Downey, enfrente de la iglesia. Y me recordó mucho a mi papá porque, como algunos conocen, él solía salir en bicicleta. Me recordó mucho a él y compartí con ella unas palabras. Y creo que en este momento nosotros necesitamos ser Melissa. Necesitamos, como un pueblo, buscar ese coraje y, si podemos, documentar como nuestro alcalde lo ha hecho, y le aplaudo su valor. Si podemos, sin interferir contra la ley, documentar, tener ese valor y enfrentar por ser la voz que lamentablemente otros no pueden ser. Y bueno, pues ahí termino por hoy, pero les quiero dar las gracias por darme la fortaleza y por apoyarme.
Thank you for that, Councilwoman Guillen. I'll pass it over to Councilwoman Sanchez, Dr. De Leon Sanchez.
Tonight, I want to speak directly to our community, not out of fear, but from a place of strength and unity. Bell Gardens is my home. I love the city deeply. I was raised here. I live here. I serve here, not just as a council member, but someone who understands the heart of this community. That's why I speak with urgency, not with politics. There's a difference between a city leader and a community leader. A city leader writes policies, votes on budgets, and represents constituents. A community leader walks the streets, answers calls at night, shows up when people are scared, and speaks when others stay silent. I strive every day to be both. I sit here before you, not just as an elected official, but a proud daughter of immigrant parents. I'm here because they crossed borders, so I could have a voice. Like so many of you, I carry that struggle, their sacrifice, their strength, in everything that I do. And it's that strength that fuels me tonight. Right now, we must come together, not just to protest, but to protect. We need to look out for one another. Check in on your neighbors, share information. If you see something suspicious, such as masked individuals in unmarked vehicles detaining people on our streets, don't stay quiet. Honk your horn, warn others, record if it's safe to do so. Speak up, because what we're witnessing isn't public safety. It's intimidation, it's trauma, and it has no place in Bell Gardens. I want to make it clear. I stand with our Bell Gardens Police Department. I respect the work that our officers do every single day to keep our communities and neighborhoods safe. I ask the community to continue having a good rapport with our officers. They're being put in dangerous and confusing situations where they have to determine who's acting under the law, who's acting under the color of law, and who's not. That uncertainty puts our officers at risk, puts our community at risk. That's why I'm calling on our state and federal legislators, Assemblymember Blanca Pacheco, Senator Lina Gonzalez, and Congressman Robert Garcia. Help us. We need laws that require any agency operating in our neighborhoods to clearly identify themselves. No more masks, no more marked vehicles, no more fear. We need accountability, we need transparency, and we need it now. Our families deserve to walk their children to school without fear. Our workers deserve to leave their homes without worrying about being taken off the streets by someone hiding behind a mask. Our officers deserve clear protocols that protect them from liability and harm. Bell Gardens has always been resilient. We are not defined by fear. We are defined by how we show up for one another. Let's stay grounded. Let's stay united. Let's stay informed. Because when we protect each other, we protect the soul of this community, of this city. We are not powerless. We are not alone. And we cannot remain silent, not in our streets, not here in Bell Gardens, because remember the saying that they say, el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez. I'd like to pass it over to Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Thank you so much. Soy hijo de, orgullosamente soy hijo de padres inmigrantes. Este tema me rompe el corazón. Ver a mis familiares, mis amistades y nuestra comunidad aterrorizada acerca de estas acciones de, entre comillas, agentes federales es sumamente devastador. En estos momentos existe mucha incertidumbre. La claridad es mínima. Esta neblina está inmensamente espesa. Estas son circunstancias aterradoras. Y lo que hemos visto a lo largo de estas últimas 2 semanas me da esperanza. He visto a nuestra comunidad apoyarse uno al otro, informándose lo más que puedan. Y esa conexión que tenemos como unión, como comunidad, eso no lo podrá romper ninguna agencia federal. Así que sigamos unidos, sigámonos apoyando uno al otro, porque esto seguirá siendo una resistencia a lo largo de los siguientes 4 años con esta administración y tenemos que estar listos y tenemos que tener estos recursos y las acciones, ¿no? que van a llegar en el futuro. Quiero agradecerle al público por atender esta junta, ya sea virtualmente o aquí en persona. Hemos tenido una conversación productiva y estamos contando con el apoyo y la guía legal de nuestro equipo para seguir tomando pasos cuidadosamente, ¿no? En estos momentos de incertidumbre hay 3 cosas sumamente importantes y esos son la unidad, la información y la acción. Estamos tomando estos pasos con responsabilidad, con el bienestar de nuestra comunidad y como prioridad. Les doy muchas gracias por su paciencia, su fuerza y por nunca por nunca dejar de cuidar unos a los otros. Esto va a ser un maratón, pero unidos juntos vamos a seguir avanzando y, y todo va a estar mejor. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much for that, Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa. For my comments, this has been one of the hardest meetings I've been on since serving on this council. I feel there's a lot of emotion, a lot of rage, a lot of it's hard to capture the things that I continually see. I feel that it's my responsibility as the leader of this community to ensure that you all are safe. That is my number one priority. That you all can walk on our streets safe. That when you call our police, they respond. That when you feel endangered, there are people there to support you. That we can be good neighbors to one another. What we're going through in these moments is a violation of our rights. It's unacceptable. I want to condemn what the federal government is doing to our people, to the minorities of this country, the minorities that day after day, night after night, work in and day out to keep this economy functioning, to give this country back what it gave us. I think a lot about my family members, some that cannot be here because of fear. I think a lot about the people that I work with. Janitors. Think about workers and the anxiety that each of them feels. We all saw what happened to our US Senator last week. And I said it, if that's how they treated him, imagine how they're treating our people. These cowards son cobardes because they hide behind a mask. They hide and they try to intimidate us and they're hunting us down. And I want all of you to be safe. I don't want to see more of our community members being picked up. I want to do everything I can to protect each and every one of you. And that is why I've said that if you don't have to go outside, please don't go outside. Because at any moment they could strike. And me, mayor, as the council, our police chief, there's only so much we can do. So what I can do is to stay home, stay safe, check in on your loved ones. Know that the city's going to do everything we can to provide necessities, to provide medications, to provide groceries, you name it. I don't know how long this is going to go for. I don't know what's going to happen next. I have to think of what's the worst that could happen, right? What if all of them just rush into this community? What are we going to do as a community? What am I supposed to do as your leader to go outside and confront them? I responded to somebody on one of the comments and they asked me for help. They said, "Where are you? We need you out there." And I tell them that I can't do it alone. I need all of you. We need all of you. The council needs all of us. I want you to know that we're here to support you. We're here to protect you. And we're going to do everything in our power within the realm of the law to hold justice and hold these individuals accountable. We'll get past this. I have faith we'll get past this. Because this isn't the first time this has happened to our community. It's happened in the past. Right? So with that said, I want to leave everybody with the message of hope. Yesterday at Mass, the priest said, let's pray for these individuals because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand the impacts they're causing to our families. Right? Let's hope that they change their heart. Let's hope they see the light. I'll continue to march, to protest, to organize. I'll continue to be there as much as I can. And I invite all of you to be there too. Like I said, we can't do it alone. With that said, I'll go ahead and like to adjourn this meeting, City Council Successor Agency at 9:08 p.m. Thank you so much, everybody.